Hi guys, this is Mr. Richard. We are on November paper 1 2022 grade 12, right? We are looking at question 4. So at question 4 we are given a graph of a hyperbola. Sketch below is the graph of a hyperbola, which is h of x is equals to 1 over x plus p plus q, and the asymptotes of h intersected at the point 1 and 2, meaning that here it's 1 and 2, here it's 1 and 2, right? So remember that since this is a graph of a hyperbola, we do have what we call the symmetry lines, right? The symmetry lines. The one will pass, the other one will pass us here. Sorry for that. It will pass us here, but it will never. It will pass us here. Yes, right. It will pass us here. So they intersect here. They will intersect here where it's 1 and 2, right? Okay. So what we are required to do there, we are at 4.1.1. Write down the values of P and Q. Right. Remember that we do have the values of, we are already given the values of P and Q. That's why it's 2 marks, right? Okay. So what is the value of P? Remember that the value of P, it's the vertical asymptotes. Definitely it should be 1. So let's put that into practice. We are at question 4. Right. So 4.1. So this will be, P will be equal to 1 and Q will be equal to 2. Right. Okay. Why P equal to 1? Remember the shift, this asymptote is shifted right. So it should be positive 1. So, okay. Let's go to 4.2. Right. Remember, this is 4.1.1 and this is 4.1.2. Okay, at 4.1.2 we are required to calculate the x-intercept of h, right? The x-intercept of h. So what is the x-intercept of h? Okay, how will you find that? Let's put that into practice. Remember that we said that the asymptote of P, it's going to be -1 because it's shifting to the right, and Q will be +2. So we need to find the x-intercept. For x-intercept, let y be 0. Let y be 0, meaning that where there is y, we shall put 0 so that we get the x-intercept. They said the x-intercept, right, of h. They calculate the coordinates of the x-intercept of h. Okay, so this is +1, x minus 1 plus 2. We can transpose 2 to the other side, or we can multiply by x minus 1. So when you take 2 to the other side, it becomes -2. We are left with x minus 1. So -2 is the same as divisible by 1. So when you are here, you can cross multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, and -2 times x is going to be -2x, and -2 times -1 is going to be +1. So in this case, we can take -2x to the other side. It's going to be positive 2x, and we take 1 to the other side. Okay, let me see. All right, did I do it correctly? Let us see. -2 times x is going to be -2x, and -2 plus, okay. All right. Going back there, yes, we said let y be 0. I just want to confirm something there. All right, okay. All right, I think I made a mistake. Let's see. -2 times x is -2x, and -2 times 1, it's +2. Okay, that's the mistake. It's good to check. Be very careful. All right, so let's transpose 1 to the other side. It's going to be, when transpose 1 to the other side, it's going to be 2 minus 1. Therefore, this will be 1. Then divide by both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. X is half, right? Okay, so that's the x coordinate. It's going to be half and 0. Remember that we said let y be 0. Okay, then let's go to 4.1.3. Okay, at 4.1.3, we are required to write down the x coordinate of the x-intercept of g if g of x is equals to, okay, let's put that into practice. 4.1.3, Remember that g of x is given as equals to h at x plus 3. Okay. What they are saying here, they are saying we need to write down the x-coordinate of the x-intercept of g. If g of x is equals to h of x plus 3. Actually, we already calculated the x-intercept of h, right? Remember that we did get half here. It was a half, right? It was half the x-intercept. So when they're saying this graph now, it is needed it is given as g of x, which is equals to h of x plus 3. This x plus 3, it's a shift, guys. It's a horizontal shift, or a horizontal translation there, meaning that this graph has shifted 3 units to the left, meaning that we are going to subtract this half by negative 3. So this is how you are going to write this. You are going to say half minus 3. The y value remain the same. So what is half minus 3 there? I think that will be negative 5. Yes, it's negative 5 all over 2. Negative 5 all over 2 and 0. So that's how you can answer 4.1.3. Let's go to 4.1.4. Okay. The equation of an axis of symmetry of h is y is equals to x plus t. Determine the value of t. Okay, guys. All right, to determine the value of t, this is a positive symmetry. So we are talking about this symmetry. It passes through this intersection of both asymptotes. So we are going to use this coordinate of 1 and 2 to determine the value of t in this case. So let's put that into practice. So we're having 4.1.4. Okay. We're having y is equals to x plus t. Okay, so it passes through 1 and 2, so this is going to be x and y, right? Where there is y, we shall place 2, right? And where there is x, we shall place 1 plus t. Then transpose 1 to the other side is going to be 2 minus 1, which is going to be 1. Therefore, t is equals to 1. So that's how you are supposed to determine the value of t. So t is equals to 1. How many marks was that? That was 2 marks. Okay, we are about to end our 4.1. At 4.1.5, we are required to determine the value of x for which negative 2 is less than or equal to 1 all over x minus 1. You need to analyze your graph. First thing, let's write this in a standard form. This will be 0 is less than 1 all over x minus 1 plus 2 when you transpose 2 to the other side. Or we can also write this as 1 all over x minus 1 plus 2 just greater than 0, meaning this is where the graph of h of x is greater than 0. You get you'll get marks for saying that. Another thing, they are saying where this graph is greater than 0, meaning where it goes above. So from here, from 1 to there, from this graph, we can see that it is always going to go positive and positive. It's above this. It's going to be positive and positive, right? So at half, at 0.5 here, which is, remember I said that this is where h of x is greater than 0. At half, this is where it's going to be greater than 0. But we need to be very, very careful when it comes to that. You may say that in this case, looking at half it's not greater than 0. It's going to be lesser. So remember that when it's greater than 0, this is where your graph it's above. So understand very well your notations. So in this case, we are going to have x is equals to half, or x is greater than 1. So because here this is where it's going above. Here meaning that it will go below, so it's not going to be greater. Yes. So this is the solution. This is how you were supposed to write 4.1.5. okay, now we are going to 4.2. Yes, at 4.2 We are given the graphs of f of x is equals to x squared minus 4x minus 5, and the graph of g is equals to a multiplied by 2 to the power of x plus q as sketched below. E and h are the x-intercept, and c is the y-intercept of f, and lies on the asymptotes of g. The two graphs intersect at D, the turning point of f. Read carefully. They said at 4.2.1, write down the y-coordinate of c. All right, the y-coordinate of c. For us to get the y-coordinate, guys, you will, they said the y-coordinate. They didn't say both coordinate, they said y. So in this case, we are where there is x, we are going to put 0. 0 squared is 0, and remember, negative 4 times 0, it's 0. 0 minus 0, it's 0, and 0 minus 5 is going to be minus 5, meaning that y will be minus 5. Okay, we already calculated the value of y. You will get how many marks was that? That was 1 mark. Then determine the coordinates of D. We have been told that D is the turning point of f, right? So let's put that into practice. Okay, we are at 4.2.2. So remember that D is the turning point of f, and the graph of turning of f is given as x squared is equals to 4x minus 5. So you can use your grade 11 method or grade 12. Right, so using grade 11 method, this will be x is equals to negative b all over 2a. So when you are here, you are going to take okay, remember this is a quadratic b, our b will be minus 4 there. So let's plug 4 there. What is our a? Our a is 1. Okay, therefore negative and negative is going to be positive. 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. So x is equals to 2, or you could derive. You can use a derivation. So using a derivation here, we are going to have x squared will be 2x minus 4, which is equals to 0. Then take negative 4 to the other side. This will be equal to 4. Then divide both sides by 2. Therefore 2 goes to 2 times at 4, so x will be 2. Using differentiation, I mean. Then another way could be you can add these x values, the x value of e and the x value of h, and divide them by 2, so that we get the x coordinate of D, which is the x turning point, right? So they set the coordinate. We already have the x coordinates. Now I want you to substitute where there is x, put 2. We are going to say 2 squared minus 4, substitute 2 there again, so it's going to be negative 9, right? So D is equals to 2 and negative 9. Okay, all right. Then we are at 4.2.3. They want us to determine the values of A and Q. Okay, Q, it is the horizontal asymptotes. We are given there, it passes through C. So in other words, our Q at 4.2.3, Q will be minus 5. Okay, it will be minus 5. So what about A? So we need to calculate A. Remember that we now have A times 2 to the power of x plus Q. Oh, okay. Then our Q, it's minus 5, as I've stated there. It passes through what? Remember, there's a coordinate that passes, D passes through G, right? So we can also use D as, remember, it's 2 and negative 9. So this is x and y. Where there is y, you shall substitute negative 9. And where there is x, you shall substitute 2. So we are going to have 2 squared is going to be 4 times a is going to be 4a minus 5. Then we are going to have negative 9 there. So we can just take negative 5 to the other side. Is going to be negative 9 plus 5, which is negative 4. So we are going to have negative 4, which is equals to 4a. Divide both sides by 4. How many times does 4 goes into 4? It's going to be negative 1. Definitely a, it's negative 1. Then we are at 4.2.4. Write down the range of G. The range of G, when A, remember this is what you should note. When A is greater than 0, as well as Q which is our horizontal asymptote, will be greater than 0. But if A is less than 0, our horizontal asymptote will be, we're looking, when they say determine the range, specifically, you must look at your horizontal asymptotes in this case. So in this case, since A is less than 0, our Q will be less than 0. Remember that we did calculate Q there as -5. So in this case, Y will be -5, or you could say Q is -5. So that will be your range in this case. Okay, then they are saying at 4.2.5, determine the values of K for which f of x minus K will always be positive. In mathematics, we know that when something is said to be positive, it means that f of x in this case minus K will be greater than 0. So some can substitute here, but that was 2 marks. Specifically, they're talking about the graph of f. We are going to take the y turning point of D there. What was the y turning point of D? Remember that the y turning point of D was -9. So where there is f of x, we shall place -9 minus K, which is greater than 0. Let me take -9 to the other side. We'll be left with -K, which is greater than 9. Then divide both sides by negative. Remember, the inequality sign will change when you divide by -1. So K is less than or equal to, oh, sorry for that, K is less than -9. So that's how you can work out question 4. Hope you find this video useful, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. We really appreciate your comment. As you know, there will always be a room for improvement, and you will never master mathematics, but you will only get better, because learning is infinity. Hope you find this video useful, and don't forget to subscribe and like and share. We love you. See you on the next video.